Hello, friends. Welcome to Level Up with Debbie Neal. I am your host. There is nowhere I would rather be than right here, right now with you. This podcast is all about leveling up in all aspects of our lives. Thank you for being here. I am so grateful. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Together, we are leveling up. You ready? Hello, my Level Up family. I hope you're amazing today. I have to be honest with you, the last 24 hours, I actually couldn't get out of my own way, because I talk about the law of attraction all the time, but this was just something that it was something after something after something after something. But I'm healthy. My kids are healthy. Everybody's good. But actually, when I am done recording this episode, I am going to be, a car service is coming to get me like almost immediately to take me to California to speak for an event there. And sometimes we wonder how we're going to get through those 24 hours, but we do. And I made it. So I am going into this podcast thinking this is going to be incredible, but I'm curious because I jotted down some notes in my crazy day. All right. So last week we spoke about attitude on last week's podcast, and your attitude is the way you approach life. It is reflected in your behavior. It's made up of your mental tone. It's an indicator of who you are. Your attitude is always under construction, and we always want it to grow. We want to show up bigger and better in this world, and certainly in the professional arena, because we know that how we do anything is how we do everything. When our attitude is good in life, our attitude is good in business. Here we go. Evidence of my day yesterday. I forgot to tell you the topic before I get into it. This week, we're going to be talking about follow through. And this is huge, and it has the power to set you light years above others. Why? Because here's the truth. I mean, it's a simple truth, but most people, they don't follow through. When we follow through, when we do what we say we're going to do, you know what we do? We build credibility. Like, really think about it. Think about how many people make declarations. So they could be like, it's a goal. You know, they scream out their vision. They're pumped. They're in the heat of the moment. And then all of a sudden, it's either crickets or it's like, slowly, they kind of maybe secretly hope that you don't remember their goal or their vision because they got a little bit uncomfortable. And like, now we'll do it another time. It's called follow through. It's not only in business, it's in everything. So we talk about all the time the importance of making your bed, right? So I know that I've talked about this on several podcasts. I did a podcast on habits. So some people are like, yes, I'm going to make my bed. Okay. Some people do it for a day. Some people do it for a week, a month, or for life. It's called follow through, like doing what you said you were going to do. And then what happens in turn is that becomes a habit. So here's another thing. You know, have you ever made plans and there are some friends who you know will follow through, and then others, like something just seems to always happen? Right? Like if you make lunch plans, I have those certain friends, or I don't want to say we all have those certain friends that, you know, you make plans, they're happening. And if something does happen that they need to cancel, you almost don't question it because you know their credibility is so good. But then you make plans with people and you're like, you know what? I might as well make like plan B, because like we said we were going to have lunch, or we said we were going to do this, but we always do that and it never seems to happen, right? It's called follow through. It's the same with eating healthy. Okay. Eating healthy. Like we know that feeding our body whole foods and good foods, like make us feel amazing. So sometimes we can have these health declarations and then all of a sudden, like we see chocolate cake and it's squirrel, right? We see a cheeseburger and fries and it's squirrel. It's called follow through. Following through, living in your word. Think about exercise and moving your body. We all have 24 hours in a day. Moving our body, we know, like none of us can make medical claims, but we know we're going to have a better lifestyle. We know we're going to be healthier. And it's not only important today, but like when you reach your 60s and your 70s and your 80s and your 90s, the more you move your body when you're younger, the more your body is going to work for you, right? But it's called follow through. It's so easy to be like, nah, I'm not going to work out today. And you, my friends, I've done that too. It's like 20 minutes or 30 minutes out of 24 hours. Like, what am I possibly doing that my day is so busy that in fact, yesterday was an insanely crazy day. Like, I don't even want to speak about it out loud because it could attract other things. Okay. But I still had time to go on my Peloton, and I still had time to do my rebounder and jump up and down, which I love. And thank goodness I started my day with that level of energy because it carried me through the crazy. Okay. Being consistent in your business. That's follow through, like being consistent. If you're, let's say, an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, so I kind of always use that example. There's so many pluses to be an entrepreneur. But one of the things about being an entrepreneur is you don't have somebody breathing down your neck. You don't have a boss. You're your boss. So are you going to hold yourself accountable? Are you going to make the calls you said you were going to do? Are you going to create the activity for new business that you said you were going to create? Are you going to be, do the personal growth, do the reading, take the action, take the steps, step out of your comfort zone? It's so easy to have a goal. But if we're not going to take action, if we're not going to follow through, if we're not going to do the small steps along the way, what's really the point? Because you're not going to go, it's not going to be like, you're not going to be transported to that goal. You have to follow through on all the other things. It's how you build trust. You want to be a person of your word. When you say something, you want to be that person that people know they can count on you. If you say you're going to be somewhere or do something, do it. This builds your personal brand. I'm certainly far from perfect. In fact, sometimes I genuinely crack myself up. Okay. However, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it because my character and my word are really important, and it builds our leadership. When we make promises and fail to keep them, that's really expensive. It's very costly than you can possibly imagine. It's costing you your leadership. It's costing you your character. It's costing you your word. It's costing you your belief. Like, if people don't believe in you, right, they're definitely not going to follow you. When we don't follow through, and you have a team, let's say, they feel defeated. Like, if you say you're going to do something, it might be for you, but you're a leader. Your team is watching you. And what happens is people lose trust. They lose respect, and they're not going to believe your words going forward. It's like, yeah. I remember when I started my business, and it wasn't about me, but I had so many people doubting me, saying, yeah, okay, when you do this, when you do that, when you grow to this level, call me back. And I remember thinking, hello, but somebody else made them lose respect for somebody's word. Like, maybe they did something like I was doing, or they said something like I was saying, but they didn't follow through. And because they didn't follow through, it tarnished the views of those friends of mine that I went to. And I was like, you know what? I know that this is not about me, but I'm going to follow through. I'm different. Be different. Think about it. Would you follow anyone who you considered to be not reliable? And we've spoken about integrity, and it's really, really important. So let's think of some of the things that are very important in business when it comes to follow through. Like, if you have a call, or maybe a team Zoom, or any type of meeting, whether it's in person or virtual, and you cancel last minute, like, people lose credibility. If you break a promise to someone, you're not following through. If you don't show up to events, right, where I love community, I love getting together, like, whatever it is, it could be an event. Well, of course, we're talking about business here, but it could be like, oh yeah, we invited those friends, but they're not coming to dinner, or they're not showing up at it. I have a friend of mine. I actually love them, but like, I know that every single time I invite him and his wife, they don't come. They say they're going to be there, but I'm like, they're just not going to be there. Okay. So we want to be following through. If you set a goal and you have a team and don't follow through, it's really defeating to them. And that's when leaders make it all about them. So let's say maybe you declare this goal and you're leading your team to the next level. And then all of a sudden life happens, or you feel uncomfortable, or something happens, or you start to doubt yourself, or you feel unworthy. And there's a variety of things, right? And then all of a sudden you're kind of like, oh, maybe they'll forget I said that. And you're kind of like, you'll make your why your excuse, or you'll get lost in busy work. Well, it's not just about you. Like, what about the people that you looked in the face and said, this is where the bus is going. This is where our bus is going. Get on, get on, get on, get on. And now you have these people that are looking to you, right? So today, we're going to be going over how to follow through and be the leader with integrity to lead your team to the next level. So it's funny, like, I jotted down a bunch of things, but honestly, you guys, we're going to go with it today because I don't even know if the numbers are in order. This is something that I was taking some notes down at midnight, and I was just like, that kind of like whatever hit my head, I was writing down on a piece of paper. So one, cast a vision to your team. Like cast a vision. That's how you build integrity and the ability to follow through. What are you creating? Where are you going? What's the goals? So really cast that vision. That's how you follow through. And you want to hold your vision bigger than anything that's going to come your way. Number two, always show up, be front and center, sit in the front, organize activity, put a camera on if you're on a virtual event, speak and serve as often as you can, right? That's how you build integrity. It may be uncomfortable. That's okay. Be early. Make it a priority to show up. That is following through on your word. Number three, do what you said you were going to do. Whether that's scheduling activity, whether that's going for a trip, right? Many companies launch trips. And here's the thing. If you're going to go for it from the beginning to the end with any incentive, whether it's a trip, whether it's a get item, whether it's an event. Okay. People get all excited. They come out of the starting gate running. And whether it's 2 days, 5 weeks, 2 months, way before the end of the qualification period, all of a sudden they lose their luster because they don't believe in their soul they could do it. Follow through. Be consistent till the end. Love your vision till the end. Believe in yourself till the end. Take steps till the end of whatever that qualification period is. And whether you earn it or you don't, you win. Why? Because you're following through. You're showing what it's like to go for it, right? Most people will go for it when they feel it's a guarantee. I'm sorry, friends. Success is not a guarantee. The only thing that you have control to guarantee is that you're going to follow through. You're going to live in your word. You're going to play your very best on that field till the buzzer goes off. That's what you have 100% control over. And most people don't do it. So if you can build that decision inside of your gut, you're light years ahead of everyone else. Grow to the next management level. If you're putting that out there, go for it. It doesn't mean you're going to do it next month. Okay. But be consistent, show up, make the declarations, do the activity, stand in your greatness, own it. So again, goes back to the same thing with trips. When people feel they're off a little bit, they slither back, they get busy, life happens. I call BS. I know life happens, but I know what it looks like when people just like, I don't know. What if I go for it? What if I do all of this work and it doesn't happen? Well, guess what? You're going to be way ahead of where you are now by not doing any work. Follow through. Okay. Leveling up, getting healthy, exercise, all of this thing. If you said you were going to do it, if you set a time frame, follow through, do it. Even if you get a little bit off course, because that's what happens sometimes. We set a goal in business, we get a little bit off course. That's okay. Get back on course. You could set, goals with exercise and eating healthy. You get off course a little bit. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for progress. Get back in the saddle. Follow through. If you ate something bad one day, so just get right back in and follow through. To grow your business takes you becoming the person that you would want to follow. It's doing something every single day to move your business forward, to move the needle forward. It's doing what you said you were going to do. So often people just don't know where to start. They set goals, they make the declarations, and 3 months later, they're in the same spot. That isn't growing your confidence and it isn't growing your credibility. Trust me that people are watching. They're looking to see what you do. They're seeing if you follow through. What do you want to create in the next 3 months? Write it down. Pick 3 things. Be really clear. Be intentional. Now make a list of what you are going to create to do those 3 things, right? So if it's like grow to the next level, great. What are you going to do? How much more activity are you going to put on the calendar? How many more phone calls are you going to do? How are you going to become the person that can create that in your life and in your business? This is where follow-up comes in. Now do something daily to make it happen. Our follow through builds our leadership. It builds our word. It builds our confidence. Action breeds confidence. Every time we do what we said we would do, it builds our confidence. We walk with a different, giddy in our step. We stand different. We become really proud of ourselves. So let's get really real for a minute. You've set goals for the new year. What have you created at this point? Are you moving forward? Are you tracking? If not, let's grow the follow through so you can level up. this year. Okay. So here's some other things that I thought of. Don't stop a task until it's completed. Here's another number one. So I think we went 1, 2, 3, and now we're on to another one. Okay. This is my day yesterday. Don't stop a task until it's completed. Have you sat down to make calls and then all of a sudden you're on Instagram? Okay. And it's like squirreling like a squirrel. Set an amount of time and do it. Don't get distracted. Follow through. If you have a goal to move your body 30 minutes a day, do it. We get so easily distracted. And I've done this. All of a sudden, it's like dinner time. And I'm like, do I get credit because I'm still wearing my exercise clothes? No. In fact, it was the other day. And I have like such incredible goals for myself for 2023. And I'm really pumped about them. You guys, I'm really, really pumped about them. And one of them is looking and feeling my absolute best. Like we go every year to Maui with my company. And you guys, I'm not going to, I know that I'm not a heavy person. Like I know I'm not. I'm a thin person. However, I was like, I wanted my beach cover up on. That's not happening next year. I'm walking everywhere around in my bathing suit. Okay. So I know that moving my body every single day is so important. So it was like dinner time. I was still wearing my exercise clothes. It was a crazy, good, busy day. And I was like, you know what? 5:00, I'm going, I'm exercising and I'm going to bounce. So it's really easy to get distracted, but get back focused. Number 2, be willing to be uncomfortable. If you set a goal, right? Whatever it is, earning that trip, promoting, getting in shape, or whatever is on your heart, it's not going to be roses and gumdrops the whole journey. It's just not. If you have to follow through, you have to follow through the ugly to get to the beautiful. We have a tendency to get distracted when we get uncomfortable. If you say you're going to make 10 phone calls a day to grow your business and there is someone on your chicken list, make the call. If a call doesn't go well, keep going, learn from it, expand from it. Keep your eye on your word. Number 3, be intentional with your time. Be focused on your goals. You are better off focusing on one goal at a time, one task at a time. Complete one thing before you start another. Most people are busy all day and then they get nothing accomplished. Most are busy all year, but then they aren't any closer to their goal. It's all about intention. Don't get lost in the busy to avoid the follow through. Number 4, make a list of all the positive things that are going to happen as a result of you following through. For example, let's use health. I feel like maybe I'm talking about myself. I'm focusing on this because it's one of my major goals. So often we associate getting healthy with depriving ourselves. Yes, we are exchanging things for healthier options and choices in our life. Yes, we are moving our bodies instead of sitting around. Think of the positives. How do you feel in a healthier bod? How do you feel with more energy, with better sleep, with things tighter and toner? And instead of like, I don't want to look good, I want to look sexy. So what is it for you? Look, how do you want to look and feel in your clothes, your confidence? Make a list of all of that and focus on that. It will make it so much easier to put the donut down, to turn off the television, to do the things that like, is that going to get me, really ask yourself, is that going to get me closer to this feeling that I have inside of me that I'm so excited to create? Make a list of all the positive things about growing your business. What is it going to pay for, right? When you grow your business, chances are there's going to be more earnings, more income. How will it make you feel? Who are the lives you're going to affect when you expand? Focus on the positives. Focus on what is coming on the other side. Know that the only thing that will get you there or keep you there is how you follow through. That's pretty powerful. You have 100% control over it. Number 5, be urgent. Leaders create a sense of urgency. They set deadlines. They make them non-negotiable. Reward yourself. That's what I did. I would set 24 and 48-hour goals and reward myself. I held myself accountable. I was obsessed to build my discipline and my urgency. I was committed to be a leader who would always follow through. So often we feed our brain lies that become our truth. Have you ever said or heard someone say, I keep starting and restarting and I don't follow through? It's time to step into the greatest year of your life. It's time to own your success. You are 100% control of your follow through. You have every single thing it takes to be successful. You have everything it takes to be and become who you are meant to be in this world. It isn't easy. You've got one go around. I want you to do an exercise, okay, for me. And this was done by a good friend of mine, Dana, at a leadership retreat that I went. She brought me in to be a keynote for, and it was really, really powerful. So I want you to get a blank sheet of white paper, blank sheet. Okay. You're obviously not going to do it right now, but rewind and listen to this. At the top of that white sheet, I want you to draw 10 round circles. Okay. And then I want you to go down the page and I want you to draw 10 round circles down the page. Now you should have 10 circles across. You should have 10 circles down. Now fill in all those rows with blank circles. When you're done, you now have 100 empty circles on that page. Each circle starting from the top represents a year of your life. So I want you to color in circles. So for example, I'm 51 years old. So that means I'm going to color in 51 of my 100 circles. We all have a goal of living way past 100, but we're using 100 years as a benchmark. Ask yourself, how much longer am I willing to follow through? How many more days am I willing to settle to not be my very best? How many more circles am I going to color in, wondering what's waiting on the other side of my comfort zone? Every day is a gift. It is time to live your best life, to live in your commitments, to follow through. You are ready. So next week, what we're going to talk about, I actually have my good friend and my accountant who is going to be a guest on our podcast, on my podcast. And you guys, he also has an ad, which you might have heard. And he has an ad on this podcast because I think he's amazing. I have been an entrepreneur for 16 years, and I can't even tell you the difference he's made in my life, in my business, in my finances, and in my taxes. So I'm excited for him to share some of his tips with you, because as you level up, how you organize and prioritize your taxes is pretty incredible. So wishing you all an incredible week.